Well, that one stung. The Dallas Stars' 7-game point streak comes to an end as the Anaheim Ducks thump the Stars at home 7-5, and a promising start was erased by a nightmare second period. But the biggest concern right now for the Stars at home, the special teams dichotomy. The power play sizzles, the penalty kill fizzles.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome to a Friday edition of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. The Stars' 7-game point streak came to an end last night. The NHL's hottest offense came to town, and boy, did they show it in the final two periods, putting up a touchdown on the Stars to defeat Dallas at home by a final score of 7-5. And one of the more baffling trends this season at home, the special teams dichotomy. What is going on with the Stars' penalty kill at home, and why is the power play continuing to cook? We'll try to answer that question on today's show. Before we dive into some of the meat and potatoes of today's show, I did want to give a shout out to El Paso. I'm here at the El Paso County Event Center, and this has a tie-in to the Stars. But a couple of years ago, back in 2020, Kraft Hockeyville, if you remember that sweepstakes that went on for quite a bit, where Kraft was giving money to certain areas throughout the United States to help fund renovations to hockey rinks and whatnot. El Paso actually won that back in 2020. They have a wonderful little barn here. The atmosphere is incredible. It's a lot of fun. One of my favorite trips of the year. And the Stars actually played a preseason game here in this building against the Arizona Coyotes. The Stars won that game 6-3. Oettinger played in the game. He made 28 saves. Jamie Benn had a goal and 2 assists. Miro Haskinen had 3 assists. Tyler Seguin and Harley each had a goal and an assist for the Stars in the victory as well. So that was thought that was pretty neat, and wanted to share that nugget for you as the Ice Rays were on the road this weekend. So I was on a bus all day yesterday, so not an opportunity to get an episode out right away. So we'll dive into the Ducks splattering of the Stars last night. Now, you look at just the box score of the hockey game. Just forget about the final score. If you just looked at the box score, Stars outshot the Ducks 26-25, 59% on the dots, 3 for 5 on the power play. They went 3 for 5 on the kill, which is not great, but they still won the special teams battle. 19-10, block shots were in their favor, but then you get down to the giveaways, 17-10 in favor of the Stars. And that is what really did them in last night. The Stars' puck play was just way too loose in the second period. The goal for Cutter Gauthier was a turnover by Steele, which allowed the Ducks to tie the game at 3 in the second period, as the Ducks went on to score 4 in the second period and flip the game on its head. The first period was absolutely, frankly, near incredible. Flawless from the Stars. They had some mistakes here and there, but to come in playing an offense that can really hurt you, the Stars gave the Ducks virtually nothing in the first period. They go up 2-0, a couple of power play goals from Wyatt Johnston. The beat goes on for him. He's up to 9 on the season. And they only outshot the Ducks 8-7. Some of that was aided from a late power play for Anaheim. But the Ducks only had 2 scoring chances, make it 4 scoring chances in the first period alone. And only 2 were high danger. Jake Oettinger was not very busy. The Stars did not give Anaheim any room to use their speed through the neutral zone and get out and play an up-tempo type of game, which they want to play, which, of course, we saw in the second and third period when the Stars just could not slow them down, and the Ducks made them pay. Look, the Ducks are a really good team. I don't think the Stars were going to be able to control Anaheim like they did in the first period for, the next 40 minutes. But to give up a touchdown is just inexcusable. You cannot give up 6-7 goals to Anaheim at home. Oettinger was well rested, but it had been 5 to 6 days since he had last played in the game. It looked like it. He was not great. He just could not come up with that big save. He could not make the big save. When Dallas did have a breakdown, it ended up in the back of their net. And the penalty kill continues to be a big problem. We'll get into that a bit. The power play is still being relied on too much to score. They are having some issues at 5-on-5. They created plenty last night to win the game. Obviously, they scored 5. And you've heard me on this podcast multiple times say, if you score 4, the Stars should win. If they get 5, they should absolutely come out with a victory in that game. But that's what Anaheim can do. They have young talent that can absolutely hurt you if you're not on your toes. And after the first period, which was frankly their best first period of the entire season, probably, it just completely flip-flopped to a nightmare second period. And they had a push in the third. I'll give them credit. They had a push, but it was too insurmountable at that point. And the puck play, especially in between the blue lines, is concerning, right? They weren't able to get some pucks in deep. Some lackluster change. They gave up a shorthanded goal in the contest as well, right? Like those type of things just came back to kill Dallas. But the numbers were okay for the most part. The thing I struggle with the 5-on-5 play, because look, I know they're not scoring as much as we would like. Sagan finally scores against the Ducks. That was one of the I guess it's really the only 5-on-5 goal, because the one they got late was essentially a power play goal. It was a man advantage with the 6-on-5 that Hintz tipped in to get the Stars within 1. But the 5-on-5 play, which was pretty decent last night, I thought was actually pretty strong. Where I kind of struggle is, yes, the Stars are relying on their power play, but their 5-on-5 play was the reason they got those power plays. So I feel like they deserve some credit for their 5-on-5 play, because they were all over Anaheim early, and because of their forecheck, because of their play with the puck, they were getting those opportunities. They were drawing penalties. So you can't fault them for getting loaded up on the power play and converting, right? I thought their 5-on-5 play was decent. That's why they got as many power plays as they did in the contest, and they took advantage of it, right? They go 3 for 5. Man, it's really good. Of course, it's one of the best in the NHL, but it's this inconsistency right now from Dallas, where they play one incredible period and the next not so much. They can play stretches well. They can put periods together, but when it's bad, it's sort of bad. And the beginning of the second period was a great example of it. All of a sudden, they looked like they didn't know what they were doing. The first 5 minutes, it was like, what's going on here? Unfortunately, the first goal for Anaheim is very unavoidable, and that's where I do have some optimism. Some of this stuff just feels very avoidable for Dallas. A shorthanded chance going one way. Beck, for whatever reason, didn't try to get it to Miro, or didn't try to put it on net. Instead, he just dumps it in, and then the Stars were trying to change, and then Kreider gets hit with a 100-foot pass from Karlsson, and that's when you would like Otter to stop, but Kreider beats him clean. And then you the second goal's a play where, Dallas needs to get the puck in deep. They get caught up ice, and then the rush game really came out. Bishel gets lost, and then the defenseman creeps behind him and taps it in. It's just the mental and the mental mistakes and just some of the elementary giveaways that the Stars are committing right now are really coming back to hurt them. And last night was a case where Oettinger just could not make a save when they really needed it to stop the bleeding. It just snowballed. It's one thing, you give up a couple in a period, things aren't going well, but to allow it to turn into 4 goals and then you're trailing going to the third, it just can't happen. And the Ducks are a good team, right? That's another takeaway. The Ducks are going to be around, it feels like. If all things go right, they feel like a team that's going to be around. The final 40 for them was excellent, and they deserve some credit, but also the Stars just weren't awake at points in the contest. It's the lapses, and it cost them. It did, and the special teams especially. What is going on with the splits for the penalty kill and power play? Let's touch on that and why the penalty kill struggles so much. We'll do that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Rugiet. Let's be real, making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress, I'm tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support, and that's where Rugiet comes in. Rugiet.com offers fast, exciting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED, designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rugiet makes it easy to get started. You just connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online. No awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. If you get it prescribed, the treatment ships discreetly to your house. It's real doctors. It's about confidence, right? And getting you back into the moments that matter. Visit Rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL to get 15% off your first order. That's Rugiet, Rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL. And don't forget to use the code LockedOnNHL so they know we sent you. Rugiet, stop making excuses and start making moves. Apologize for all the pucks rattling around. Sometimes I'm very limited to where I can do the podcast when I'm on the road, and I have to do it during morning skates sometimes. So not that it's bad to have some hockey effects in the background, but the special teams dilemma right now for the Stars at home, and Josh and Razor talked about it quite a bit last night in the broadcast. But you look at their power play as a whole, 34% right now is third in the NHL. They have the best power play at home, 43%. And we saw it last night. The puck movement's incredible. Miro Haskinen, he had a 4.9. Boy, was he excellent. He heard the criticisms from Stars fans early this season and starting to prove why he's one of the best defensemen in the world. He was cooking last night. Unfortunately, it comes in a loss, and now I have to be bitter. I would love to talk about all the positives, but unfortunately, we have to give some time to what's going wrong. Although the power play's been going right, so that continues to cook. Whether it's at home, on the road, it's fine. But the PK's bottom 6 in the NHL, 70%. They have the worst home penalty kill. 61.5%. That's worse than the Blues. That's worse than the Wild. That's worse than the Blue Jackets. And frankly, I don't know what is going on. We talked about this with Ryan earlier this week. Sarcastic remarks. The personnel has stayed the same. The system has stayed the same. Alain Nazardine. But for whatever reason, they just cannot find a way to get kills consistently. They go 3 for 5 last night, and although they won the special teams battle, the power play goals they did give up were massive in the context of the game. The first got the Ducks on the board, and then their second one was one where they went up 4-3, and then they give up the shorthanded goal. And that made it 6-4 for Anaheim when the Stars had a chance to tie the game at 5. So, yeah, they won the special teams battle, but when they needed a kill, when they needed to score, they weren't able to get it done. And I don't know what the answer is right now. They are just struggling. They can't clear the puck. That's one of their big issues. They have a lot of giveaways on the penalty kill, especially. They struggle just to send the puck the length of the sheet. We saw it the other night against Edmonton. Again, it's really hard to almost dissect because they've done a lot of good things right over the last couple of years, and this season it has taken a nosedive. It's also almost incredible that the Stars are where they are right now statistically or standings wise with a power play or with a penalty kill that has struggled as much as they had. You look at the bottom teams on the penalty kill this year, again, Dallas, St. Louis, Minnesota, Columbus. Those teams are like bottom 10 in the NHL, like bottom 5 in the NHL. Columbus is third to last in the East. St. Louis and Minnesota, they're both third to second to last in the West. Like, they're the bottom teams in the NHL, but the power play for the Stars is cooking so much, it's allowing them to at least tread water. So you can look at it two ways. If they get the power play going, if they get the penalty kill going, maybe sky's the limit for Dallas. Or maybe the power play is not going to be able to sustain. I think you could see it that way. And even then, if the power play comes down a bit, the PK hopefully should start to improve, and then the Stars will be in a much better place. But we've sort of been spoiled here in Dallas, where the last 3 years the Stars penalty kill and power play, the special teams in general, has just been like top 10, if not top 5. In the NHL. And it was just really disappointing last night that they weren't able to buck up on the penalty kill and a power play. Yeah, you score 3, but you give up a short-handed goal, so it's pretty much a wash. And it cost you last night, and it's cost the Stars in games this season. It's cost points, right? There's games that, maybe they win. Maybe they get the full 2 points instead of just picking up 1 if their PK was in better shape. But it has to be fixed, and it's hard to find what the answer is. A couple of weeks ago, we did an episode. I mentioned maybe they need more Lyubushkin, since maybe the one thing that's changed this season is Miro Haskinen's killing a lot more penalties, or at least he's taken a lot more time on the penalty kill than he has in years past. So maybe Lyubushkin needs to play more, get back to some usual combinations. I think the injuries to some of their center icemen have hurt it. They haven't won a ton of draws on the PK. Although Hintz came back in the lineup yesterday, and he was superb in the dots. Man, he was winning every offensive zone faceoff on the power play for Dallas. He just was winning them clean, too. I'm curious to see shorthanded. So the Stars went 5 for 10 on the dots down a man, but they were 6 for 7 on the power play. But they went 5 for 10 on the PK. So maybe that's something to look to in terms of why the Stars are struggling, because, of course, when you can win draws, you can get the puck down the sheet, and then you force a team to go a full 200 feet. But the problem is with that, Anaheim just attacked you off the rush. A couple of goals, stretch passes, 3-on-2 across the line because the Stars were not set up. So even when they did clear, they had issues with the Anaheim attack. Maybe Anaheim, again, they came in, they were about middle of the pack on the power play. They weren't great, but boy, it seems like every team the Stars play, where I say this on every preview, well, their power play hasn't been good lately, their power play isn't that great. It feels like a get-right game when you play the Stars right now. If your power play struggling, you need to get right. This is a get-right game. you draw a couple penalties against Dallas, you're more than likely going to find a way to pot a couple home. And some of just wide open nets, too. I mean, wide open nets for Anaheim, right? 2 or 3 of the goals for the Ducks. Just there's no resistance. A couple of backdoor tap-ins, and the Stars just weren't able to close it down. It is baffling, Stars fans. It is really, really baffling. The last place team in the NHL at home, 61.5%. And I mentioned the teams they're with, that group, like they're the worst teams in the NHL. The Stars are still in a playoff spot, which is the good news. So if they find a way to right the ship down a man, I think you're going to see a significant improvement in their play, because I feel like their 5-on-5 plays coming on, their power play, of course, is scorching. That's the one part of their game that's sort of lagging behind. They get that going, I'm going to feel pretty good about the Stars. I'm pretty uber positive here about where the Stars are as a team. It hasn't been great, but you can look at some of the teams throughout the NHL this year, like Florida, Edmonton. They're not off to the hottest starts. The Stars have played a lot of hockey over the last couple of years. They're missing a lot of bodies. Looks like they're starting to get healthier. Duchene, Ben could be back. Ben could be back maybe sooner rather than later. So I think there's reasons to feel good about Dallas. I really do feel that way. Although there are still some issues for sure. It's not going to be sunshines and rainbows for the Stars. That's for sure. Okay, let's talk about the weekend a bit. A back-to-back. Stars got Nashville on the road. They come back to play Seattle in an important couple games over the weekend. And Nashville feels like a biggie to kick off the back-to-back. We'll get into that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. And it's not just basketball. Of course, you have college football. You have NFL on Sundays. So many different ways for you to play, and FanDuel makes it easy. Also, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. The Stars kick off a back-to-back this weekend, starting this Saturday on the road against Nashville, and then they come back to play Seattle on Sunday. Nashville 5-7-4 to begin the season, and the Kraken are 6-3-4. I watched the Kraken the other night, and boy, do they have a lot of mobile, fleet-footed defensemen, and those are the type of teams that sort of scare me for Dallas's sake. Nashville, it's not a team I think that can hurt the Stars as much as a team like Seattle, in my opinion, just because I don't feel like Nashville has the team speed of a team like Seattle. It's the teams with speed and like to play with pace that I feel like can give the Stars trouble right now because the transition game has really hurt them. And they're just allowing too many odd man rushes, right? They have to cut that down. And to their credit, during that point streak run they had limited most of those opportunities. And we highlighted the Stars defense over the week, right? They have been one of the better teams defensively. They were starting to find their groove. But it all kind of came toppling down last night against the NHL's best offense. So this Nashville game feels like a biggie for the Stars because Sunday I feel like it's going to be a really, really tough task against the Seattle team that can hurt you transition-wise. So this Predators game I feel like is almost like a must-win just to get a full 2 points, and then whatever happens on Sunday happens. Otter has to get back in. They have to put Otter back in between the pipes. They need him to get into a rhythm. Of course, he had a baby. He was gone for good reasons. But I think that hurt him a little bit. Just he was rusty. He wasn't great. and certainly played a part in the Stars' demise last night. The Stars lined at practice today. Johnston was with Rantanen and Steele. Hintz, Robertson, and Sagan back with Scoving and Bork, Ernie, Faksa, and Bastian. So Duchene was on the ice for practice. He's joining line rushes. Man, I think if they get him back, he may be the important cog in this whole thing for Dallas. I really do. I think that much of Duchene because of what he can do offensively, what he can do on the dots. He can drive the play for Dallas, especially. He may be the most important factor in all of this that maybe we haven't touched on enough. Like Duchene's absence is huge for Dallas, and I think they get him back, we may see everything fall into place again. That's going to be my prediction right now. You're going to see the 5-on-5 play. The lines seem to fall back in place for Dallas when Duchene comes back. I think that highly of him, right? You're missing a guy that had 82 points last season, and they certainly need him. He's going to help Sagan. He's going to help that middle six for Dallas, give them a little extra oomph offensively. So getting him back would be gigantic because right now they're kind of asking, the singers to be dancers, the dancers to be singers. But look, again, some of these teams that you look at over the last couple of years that, maybe you don't have to worry about, it's just not the case this season. Utah, Anaheim is first in the Pacific. Seattle, pretty bad last year. They're good. Like there's Detroit, Montreal, like these teams that maybe we didn't have high expectations coming for. Nobody thought were going to be true contenders, have came off popping to begin the season. And who knows if that lasts, but Anaheim was a team that we saw last night. They look like they could be a problem for years to come. And hopefully the Stars can get back to being a problem for other teams. It's that inconsistency right now that's frustrating for me at least, and I imagine frustrating for the Stars as well, and all you Stars fans. They have to play just 60-minute hockey. You're not going to dominate teams, right? But you have to put 60 minutes together, consistent approach, and I think just making teams earn it a bit more. It didn't feel like they made Anaheim earn it enough last night, and they made you pay. They put up 7 on you, so I would think you're going to get a team that's going to be defensively sound on Saturday against Nashville, and get a bounce back win. I really do. Nashville's a team they can take advantage of, and I would foresee a pretty decent effort from Dallas in the Music City over the weekend. So look forward to watching both of those games. We'll have plenty to break down on next Monday's show. Sorry I'm rambling today. It's a lot on the brain here as we get back to action. I got my full-time job tonight. So I had a lot of things going on with the trip and whatnot. So I appreciate all of you that do tune in each and every single day. Probably not my best episode, but we're gonna right the ship on Monday when I get a weekend to digress. But Stars fans, as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And have a great weekend. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you on our next edition on Monday. So long, Stars fans.